Guys, welcome back to the show. So,
It's gonna kick you right in your brain balls.
I'm your host, Tom C. That's your host, D. Marks.
What's up,
I didn't
boys
say our name in the past like
and
12 episodes. So here's the deal. You were saying something that I need you to repeat.
Yeah, let me give you a previously on.
Previously on.
Okay, so that's just weird lying. This person does not have a weird beard.
Call her Weird Beard.
So, I was saying was, millennials are starting to take over the media and stuff, and so the content that they program is stuff that they have nothing to relate to. It has to do with time periods that they don't relate to, but they relate to it because the content that they were watching when they were growing up related to it. Like, we don't have any concept of, like, the 70s or stuff that was going on there. We are familiar with it because when we were growing up, we were watching shows that made reference to the 70s and the 60s and stuff like that. And that's how we're familiar about how well those cultures worked.
Okay. So I said I had something to say about that.
That's pretty good.
Which I do. So here's the deal. I don't know how to properly word this. Because it's kind of a big idea. So let me try and figure out how to word this. So a lot of people... That poor guy. So there's a lot of movies, right, that deal with the future of, like, American cultures. Let's say Judge Dredd. Let's say movies where
Back
it's
to
like
the future too.
Yeah, movies in the future, right? And there's always... That was a weird thing. So there's always reference to, like, things in our time. Like, it could be the year 3000 and they'd still be making references, right?
Right.
So a lot of people would make fun of that. They'd be like, well, obviously that doesn't make sense because we don't reference things from 1,000 years ago. However, my thought process on that is we have never been more capable of documenting things.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I feel as though there's going to be certain cultural things that are going to last far longer, and, like, things that will be remembered for hundreds of years, if not thousands. Like, major cultural points might be more in people's heads because they've been repeated more times, they've been documented better. This is a big situation.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't properly say it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I believe that culture is going to continue to be produced, but there's going to be music that we never lose.
No, I don't remember who was saying that, but I remember hearing or reading something like that where, like, we're no longer at a point we're no longer at a point where very likely we are going to lose
Stuff.
Yeah. Because like when the Roman Empire fell and stuff, you know, you lost a lot of that culture.
Yeah.
But that's because their ability to keep records was not as long term as ours. Whereas we can just put stuff on. We have a million ways that we can preserve things. It's the job I work at now, actually.
Yeah.
So, like, you have all this stuff. I'm not reading Crazy's note.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's a long ass note.
Like, they couldn't record stuff in Byzantine era the same way we can now. You might be saying we might lose the ability to access way that we archive things, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I believe that probably there won't be a time in which our things get destroyed in a way like that.
You don't think there's going to be a catastrophe?
I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be something like that. Like, what could there be? Because every catastrophe that erased a massive amount of archived things so far has been man-made. For instance, the burning of the Library of Alexandria, or stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't give any other examples. But, like, that was a man-made thing where they just got rid of a culture.
Well, they didn't get rid of it. It happened by accident.
Well, I thought the Mongols did something like that.
The Mongols didn't burn the Library of Alexandria.
Didn't the Huns do it?
No. No, it was just a fire.
Somebody, like, got rid of a place's, like, library.
The Mongols burned down a library in,
It was a big deal.
the Baghdad Sultanate.
Yeah, that might be
Or
okay.
Caliphate, but not... it wasn't... Alexandria was burned to the ground long before that.
Well, anyway. You get what I'm saying. Is that, like, that kind of... I believe in some point in the future there'll probably be a huge catastrophe, but a huge, like, way later. Sorry, I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm not going to talk about that thing as though that... Because that's going to be whatever. We haven't encountered that in our history anyway.
Right. It was interesting. I guess it was Blueprint Armageddon. Dan Carlin was talking about how we're living in the first we're living in among the first like generations in human history that likely will not experience a like riptide as far as technology goes.
What do you mean?
Like, because you know, when the Roman Empire was around, they were very technologically advanced. They had the aqueducts, they had plumbing, they had all kinds of stuff. And then when it fell down, when the Roman Empire collapsed, you know, there wasn't a central nation or a central like nation state that was able to promote science and learning and stuff. So that's more or less why the Dark Ages happened, because there was no one really to continue on and like develop those methods, maintain infrastructure of the aqueducts and roads and stuff. So that's why it kind of went backwards.
Right.
And technology ebbed and flowed throughout human history until like the Renaissance and the Enlightenment period, and then really with the Industrial Revolution, that all changed, and there hasn't been a backflow of technology since.
Yeah.
Like we are, and obviously we are astronomically raising the level of technology very quickly compared to humans of the past.
Yeah. I mean,
so I thought that was a very interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, we can't account for the way things have changed.
Yeah.
Like, the way that people don't remember things from back then may never happen again, because they're going to be... Do you think that we're ever going to lose Merry Christmas? No. I don't think it's going to go away, because our traditions are firmly documented.
Yeah.
And then things will be rewatched by generations that don't understand it, that don't relate to it, but it becomes their tradition because they watch these old things.
It becomes a part of their culture.
So as opposed to like the people who in the olden times had like verbal things or like oral traditions,
Yeah.
where they like kind of get it, we're gonna be like, here's exactly what it is. Don't ever forget it. Instead of like, well, this is kind of what it's like. People are like, I forget, and then it's gonna be like that.
Yeah.
People used to write it down, but it's different. It's way different. People write down crap all the time. Anyway, it's like people.
Did you kill a guard that was out here? Oh, there's a guy sitting right here.
That's the other one.
Oh, it's Monte Carlo.
There's two places.
No, it's Monte Carlo.
I'm pretty sure there's two places. Anyway,
You're gonna come in, you're gonna be wrong.
yeah, I'm looking wrong already. But anyway, the future's so different. It's crazy. All I know is we're gonna have sweet rocket cars and solid gold houses. But anyway, I don't care about that.
Just need my health, my rocket car, a solid gold house, and my trophy wife.
Because I said before that apparently there's a person now who is like 60 now who's going to end up living to be 200. That's still a hard stat to explain. But like the first person who's going to be 200 is currently about 60 now, most likely.
Really?
Yeah. Just because of how things work. How technology is going, how longevity is working.
Dude, that could be your mom.
It could be a lot of people. Is that a your mom joke? Your mom could live to be 200. Oh! Anyway.
Yeah,
I hope it's my mom. I hope she lives to be 300. That woman's a saint.
I hope she lives to be 300 and I die tomorrow. Just kidding. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom. I hope she lives to be 300 and I live to be 301 day. Or what was the phrase? 200 and whatever. Did you ever hear that?
301 hour.
No. It's always like... that was always that sweet thing that they say. It's like, I hope you live to be 100 and I hope I live to be 99 and 23 hours or whatever. I can't properly explain it. Anyway. That's what you say to a girl that you want to kill. Anyway.
I hope that I want to kill you, but I'll commit suicide before I kill you.
Guys, if you're planning on killing anyone, just commit suicide right before you do it.
That's all we ask.
That's...
Kill as many people as you want, but before you do it, just commit suicide.
The Norm Macdonald joke. He goes, yeah, I had this really dumb friend. He has this bucket list. The first thing on it is commit suicide. It's really funny to me. It's classic Norm Macdonald delivery of kind of funny. God, I love Norm Macdonald. I need to download if he has a stand-up special, which I'm sure he must, right?
Oh, yeah, I gotta imagine.
Come on now. He was on the Saturday Night Live thing, which no one on the stream heard us talking about. But yeah, and also everyone, he was on with 4 people who did Weekend Update. You got your Seth Meyers. You got your Colin Quinn, who we all forgot about.
Yeah.
And you had some other dude.
Did they get Dennis Miller on?
He was probably on it, but that wasn't who was out. Someone else. Anyway, it's funny because Norm Macdonald's just talking and everyone's cracking up at him because Norm Macdonald's just naturally funny.
Oh, he's really good.
He's just a person who, like, is comedy. Some people, like, that's what Todd Glass is to me. Like, he's a person who, like, lives comedy. There's some people who, like, do comedy, they try and be funny, but, like, some people are so, like, honed in on the actual craft that it is so who they are. The same way, like, an artist can be totally art, you know, or like a filmmaker could be totally film.
He was on one of the funniest episodes of My Name Is Earl.
Who was?
Norm Macdonald.
That's because you know why it was one of the funniest episodes.
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald.
But he through circumstances, he had to get hit in the nuts really hard because that's what the story required of him. Mm-hmm. But like it happens, and he like. He wants Earl, the Earl guy. He wants him to sing to him. He's like,
no, it's Jason Mewes.
It's Jason Lee.
Dang it, same guy.
Yep, same guy. Legendary skateboarder Jason Mewes. Anyway,
hey, he was a pro skateboarder.
Yeah, he sure was. Held it. But he asked him to sing to him, and like he's like, my mom used to sing me Freebird when I was a kid. And so, like, he makes him sing Freebird, and like he gets to like the last verse, and he's just like, sing the guitar part too, and it was really funny.
Here's the problem: is that Norm Macdonald's just funny when he's doing anything, and I worry that there's a lot of people who don't laugh at him just talking normal.
Oh yeah,
like
that was always his shtick on Weekend Update too. He had that exact same delivery for these for the news stories that he was telling.
Dude, yeah, it's just, you know, he has some of my favorite jokes of all time. One of which, they're all the dumbest jokes of all time. That's why they're so good. One of my favorite jokes of all time was when he had that sports show. And it's barely a joke, but I laugh at it every time I think about it. He just goes, why do Europeans call it football when you play it?
Hold on. That was actually the most effective use of the Holy Hand Grenade that anyone's ever seen.
It gave you 224 experience points, which is nuts. Nuts. Yeah, that was a crazy amount of people killed. And it goes, why do Europeans call it football when you play it with a soccer ball? And it's so stupid. And it was on national TV. It was the best. Oh, also someone asked, do you think Doctor Strangelove will be around in 100 years? I don't know. Here's my question. This is going to be way too stupid of a question. This is like I'm not going to say a deep question, but it's maybe something you need to think about a little more. How relevant will nuclear bombs be in 100 years?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because it was a big deal 30 years ago. It was a big deal.
It was a big deal
20 years ago.
Yeah,
it's a big deal 10 years ago. But it's becoming less and less of a deal as, you know, people get it that, like, I don't think we're ever going to be fully disarmed unless we think of something more deadly. But, like, I think it's slowly leaving people's mind about what they're not slowly.
Yeah,
quickly leaving people's mind of what they're worried about.
I think that's what I would agree with 100%. There is that since the Cold War is over, I think people are less concerned about nuclear weapons per se than they are about nuclear material.
Yeah, because
you don't have to have good. You don't have to have weapons-grade uranium to make a dirty bomb, which could be potentially very, very catastrophic if you know.
Can't believe your lockpick's not at 100 yet.
Yeah, I kind of keep on forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Like if that was crazy, by the way.
That was a 4570 container.
Yeah, with hand load.
I just, you know, like it's...
Because the bombing at the Boston Marathon was really bad, but like it could have been even worse if the guy had, you know, even a little bit of like plutonium and made like dirty bombs. It would have been devastating.
I don't think that's blood shield. I don't think that's what people are worried about anymore. I think people are worried about getting sick or like an epidemic like that.
Yeah.
I mean, people still know that these things exist, and they, you know, it's a real thing. But no one really is worried about that just because deterrence. It's like real-life Peace Walker.
Well, it's not even deterrence, but like... This guy got rocked, by the way.
Everyone got rocked. I think people know that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because like...
It's just not.
It's not even so much deterrence anymore. It's just the fact that, like... The only real... I mean, you're basically the only real... What?
So no, you can't hug your children with nuclear arms.
That guy nailed it.
And then someone else is saying missile defense is going to make ICBMs all less relevant, which is true.
Yeah, but then you have a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's all escalation. But
because what I was going to say was that you only really have, you know, as far as the United States, there are only really 2 nations on Earth that would even think about possibly like doing a nuclear strike, because you have China and North Korea, and that's it. And China is not likely to do it because, you know.
What about like Syria?
Syria doesn't have nuclear weapons. It's chemical weapons, which are bad, but it doesn't have nuclear weapons.
Like one of those fringe countries. Like I think Syria did have it.
Syria does not have nuclear. Syria is not
like
a nuclear
Iraq
power.
was worried about it.
Iraq was not a nuclear power.
People were worried about like one of those Middle East countries getting it.
Yeah.
So like but what are the chances they would actually use it? Pretty low. Israel has it.
Yeah. They
If they used it, that would be a big mistake. If they ever wanted people to not like them, that would be the thing to do.
See, Israel has a they have a unestablished. They have not like clocked in that they have it. Everyone assumes that they have the bomb, but they haven't volunteered that information.
Yeah,
but everyone's sure about it. But they're like, it's one of those things where it's possibly like a game theory thing, where people aren't sure.
Oh, yeah, the hideout.
Yeah, people like it's likely that they do have the bomb, but it could be just an elaborate ruse to like keep their enemies at bay from like invading them by like making them think that they have the bomb.
Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite things as far as nuclear policy goes, which I was reading about a while ago, is the I think it's called like the Japan. It's not the Japan loophole, but I think it's like the Japan. I don't remember what it's called. It's like the Japan situation or something, but it has to do with the with like the nuclear proliferation talks that they had back during the Cold War, and they were talking about, I think it was the Japan option, but they were talking about how basically
Get to the power slide.
Yeah, Japan is a really good nations like
This is
Japan.
outdoor house.
Yeah, right. Nations like Japan have a very good position as far as like nuclear weaponry goes, because as the article I was reading described it, they are, quote, one wrench turn away from having nuclear weapons. They have an excellent industrial infrastructure, and they have access to weapons-grade uranium that they use for their nuclear power plants. But they don't have, and they obviously have the technological capabilities of building nuclear missiles.
Yeah.
But they don't have any, and which goes along with the SALT talks. But if they ever needed to build them, it would not take them very long to do so, and they would be nuclear armed very quickly.
It's like the Russians in Age of Empires 3. You don't need to build me one because you're always one button from having a million people in a second. Same is true of Goss in Age of Empires 2.
Also, Sydney's blew that guy's head nuclear off.
So the stream input, Iran and Pakistan apparently both are in danger of having that. Additionally, he says dirty bombs are not actually that dangerous. They usually do not have fatal levels of radiation because the required material for such a high amount of radioactivity is hard to acquire, expensive, and very difficult to handle. I believe both sides.
Well, at least in the case, I know this is the case, or at least for plutonium, is that plutonium is not only incredibly radioactive, it is also among the most poisonous substances known to man.
What about poison?
Well, poison's pretty bad.
What could be more poisonous?
Take this with a grain of salt, because I've never been able to verify this. But according to my high school chemistry professor or teacher, 1 gram of plutonium powdered and distributed correctly throughout the atmosphere could kill all life on planet. It could kill all organic life on planet Earth.
That sounds totally made up. I absolutely don't believe that.
I don't know, man.
There's no way that's possible. Maybe if that 1 gram was, if administered correctly, means someone took it and put it in people's bodies and then removed it after they died and injected every single person with it. There's no that would be insane. I don't believe that for a second. Otherwise, we'd all be dead.
Listen, I've never been able to verify it. Like I said, I don't know if it's true. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Anyway, listen. I just don't
take it with a grain of plutonium, though. That would be bad.
That's for sure.
Please pass. Please do not.
I don't think that people are scared of dirty bombs, though. I don't think
so either.
I don't think it's hype. Man,
Really,
you got a lot of these dudes. I don't think that's something
I just love the fact that they just do this, like, Three Stooges
Wait a bit.
goofball.
I thought they wanted to approach you in the coolest way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just finish this up. But I don't think that that's something the media cares about, because it's not sexy enough. They're never like, you might get killed with a dirty bomb. More on that at 10. They'll be like, does Iran have nukes? Yeah. They kind of like the, oh boy. They kind of like the term dirty bomb, but not that much. You have a 0% chance to hit and you still can do it. That was a big deal. Yeah, I don't know.
Everything okay, Sydney? Yeah, you're fine.
I love that she has a shotgun.
It just doesn't make any sense that she has one.
Can you have Cass too? Because that would be the girl team that I want to experience.
Yeah, I could get Cass.
That would do something for me in a strictly fantasy way.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Respect that.
Respect that. Anyway, who would you rather fight, a hippo or a wolf?
A wolf.
Hippo or an elephant?
Elephant.
Really?
Hippos are bad news.
Hippo or a T-Rex? Baby T-Rex.
Sorry, big T-Rex or baby T-Rex?
Baby.
Baby T-Rex.
Hippo or Reptar? Keep in mind, this is Reptar on ice.
Well,
You can't go this way.
There was a turd coming up. Yeah.
You already missed it.
Oh, nicely done. Well, he was very belligerent in the show, as I recall. He did not like those Rugrats.
Why are there babies on the ice? Apparently, Iran recently sank a fake U.S. aircraft carrier. I didn't hear about that, but I would like to know where I can acquire a fake U.S. aircraft carrier. I just want to, first of all, when I'm a super billionaire, I will own an aircraft carrier. Yes, I know they cost more than $1 billion.
That's why you have to be a super billionaire for.
Yeah, I'm going to take out a loan to a bank that will understand that I need to live in an aircraft carrier for force projection of stuff, I guess. There's not going to be any jets on it. I'm just going to be like, yachts are cool, but, like, do you have an aircraft carrier? It's going to be my force projection of making fun of rich people.
That's good.
If I'm a super trillionaire, I will begin research of helicarriers, which obviously I couldn't afford, but I could at least start the research of.
Yeah, that's good.
By the way, can't be that hard to make it if we've had strong enough propellers.
Well, I think
It's more in the cloaking technology that makes it crazy.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you would definitely need a nuclear reactor for it.
Yeah. Nuclear reactors are cool.
No question about that.
The government probably wouldn't be so keen on letting me have that part, but we'll figure it out. I'll go in with some other billionaires. I'm sure Elon Musk wants in on that.
Probably.
That dude loves crazy stuff.
Well, here's the deal. He would just be like, this is my Elon Musk impression, guys. Unveiling it for the first time. He'd be like, why use turbines when you could use magnets?
That's true. Certainly we can figure out some kind of magnet helicarrier.
You just use incredibly strong magnets that oppose the Earth's magnetic field so that you could just have it constantly hovering.
I was going to say we get a bunch of magnets that just float in the air, and then the helicarrier can be attracted to them. Someone asked, did we ever put Cass in Vera's outfit? That's a great idea.
I have, on a few occasions.
You're smart. Oh, boy. You're smart. And I have never done that.
There's one mod for Cass. There's only one mod I've ever seen that I would be interested in getting for her, and I've never looked for it, and I've never downloaded it, but it looked pretty good.
Could you be a little less vague?
I think that's as vague as you're getting.
Okay, great. Oh, that was a crazy amount of experience for no good reason.
Feels like a challenge.
Oh. Anyway, that sounds great. I don't know.
But to answer your question, yes, I've put Cast and Furious out before.
Do you think if you went back to the Dark Ages, that you could remember enough from now times
That I could be a wizard?
to invent stuff back then?
Like
if you were right now sent back to Dark Ages, you didn't have a phone on or anything, and they were like, "Hey, what's up?" You're like, "Okay, I got some ideas of simple machines, and I could maybe produce this or that." Like, do you think you could give them something they didn't have?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think off the top of your head you could be like, "Here, this is better than what you have"?
Definitely any kind of medicine.
What medicine could you produce?
Well, at least
that they wouldn't know about.
Surgery techniques.
What surgery techniques do you know that they're not aware of?
Well, at least sterilization.
That's true. Probably didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Probably in general, you could teach them a little bit about hygiene.
Yeah. Sterilization. I don't think they had too much of a concept of how to. Well, they definitely knew how to get foreign bodies out.
Yeah. I guess that kind of stuff is pretty advanced, but at the same time,
well, it's because the thing is
taught to us so clearly.
Welcome to Jacobstown.
That
because in those times you'd have no idea to
Yeah.
worry about microbial infection or anything like that because you'd have no way of knowing that exists.
Yeah, like that's a. Think about that. That's something that's like so basic to us because it's just been always taught to us.
Yeah.
Like first aid back then could have saved a lot of lives.
Yeah. Well, that's I think it was only World War I was the first war where there were more battlefield deaths than like illness deaths.
Someone says, "Yo, for real, you could just discover penicillin."
Yeah.
I don't. How is penicillin made?
Well, according to scientific legend, it was discovered because someone got some moldy bread in a petri dish when they were trying to discover a disinfectant or something, and it killed off bacteria that it was nearby.
What is it? Penicillin's just
that's the broad strokes of it.
Right. I don't know exactly what penicillin is.
It's a fungus. It's a fungus that's very adept at killing bacteria.
Have I ever had penicillin?
It's entirely possible.
So it's not something everyone always has.
No, you don't have penicillin in your medicine cabinet.
Okay.
But the thing is, medical science is actually kind of worried because
things are going to evolve to fight penicillin.
Penicillin is so widely used, exactly, that there are strains of certain illnesses that are starting to evolve around it.
Remember how in Civ, penicillin's like a big deal? Like when you first, it's like, first of all, it's always just one tech.
Yeah.
And they're like, penicillin leads to something. It always leads to future tech or something else.
Yeah, it's big.
In Civ 4 at least.
I was like, well, it's I think it's its own thing in Civ 5 too. But I do like the text like that where it's like, because you have really broad ones that are also,
What is this thing?
This is part of the Lucky 38 thing.
Awesome. I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
What is this?
I forgot exactly what it's called.
Also, apparently in World War I, they had way more deaths to the Spanish flu?
If you're counting that.
I don't know. What is the Spanish flu?
It was a really
Sounds tasty.
It was a really bad influenza outbreak that killed hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Could that have been prevented with penicillin? Or was penicillin discovered before then?
No, penicillin I don't think it was discovered till. It was definitely discovered after the war. I think it was discovered during the interwar period. I'm not quite sure about it.
I don't know. But I think I'd be less capable of doing the thing that I asked you in that question. I don't know how much I could really bring back to then. I don't think I'm that good at stuff.
You don't think you're that what am I here?
Receptive of today's things?
I was gonna say then what's the noun form of ingenuity?
Ingenious?
Yeah, I guess ingenious.
Ingenuine?
Yeah, you don't think you're that ingenious? You could just come up with shit on the fly?
I don't know. I think I just live in the world. I don't know how much I absorb of it.
That's fair. That is one thing I've noticed about you, and this is not a negative at all. It is just something that I've noticed in our times together. You are not nearly as curious as I am. Like, dude, because like the second I hear about something I don't know what it is, I have to look it up immediately. I have to at least have like a general idea.
I do ask about it though.
That's true.
I'm interested in knowing, but I'm not in. I don't know. I don't get in Wikipedia like holes. I would. Yeah, you're probably more curious than I am. I'm not disinterested.
Again, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
No, listen. I want to talk more about this in the next episode. Are you feeling another episode?
That's fair.
All right. Okay. We're doing good. Guys, we'll see you on the next thrilling ep. The Omar eps.
I'm going to be doing this, and if this lady gets hurt, it's her own fault. Okay, she's fine.
I'm really trying to...
Is it on?
Oh, God.